Today I'm here with Team 10255, the new state champions, the RoboDux, at the Northwest Michigan State Championship event. We're going to check out their awesome intake, their incredible transfer system, and so much more on this episode of Behind the Buy. All right, Kyle, can you get me started on the intake mechanism up here?
So we knew we wanted to be good at intaking from the pit. So we had to have a good intake. And last year, we had a touch to get it intake so we could instantly grab the thing. So we tried implementing last year's design, but with this year's piece, but there were so many orientations where we couldn't grab it that we had to keep updating the intake design. I think we have 8 iterations. And with the paddles, we started with conveyor belt, but it was too stiff and it wasn't grippy enough. So we originally moved the rubber for less slack, for more slack, but then it wasn't grippy enough. So we put silicone baking mat around it, so that way it would grip the thing better. We also had problems with the claw being able to grab the specimen, so we added zip ties to hold it in.
Awesome, and I see over here we have a tower of some intake prototypes. Can we see this? Walk me through a couple different mechanisms that you had in the past.
So this was our first one. It was way too small, so made it way bigger. And ever since then, we've been making smaller changes, like changing the belts or where the gears are, and rounding some edges and stuff so we can grab them better and they can fall into place.
Awesome, and like you mentioned earlier, that baking mat, I love that. You guys do that pretty often, and it seemed to be pretty successful, so I think that's something that a lot of teams can learn from you guys. Awesome. Can we move on to this transfer mechanism here? It's pretty awesome.
So the transfer mechanism, one of our big questions was if we wanted to turn around or not, and we decided that we did not want to turn around whatsoever. So we came with an intake where the sample shoots up through the intake, it comes back with the extendo piece, and then the claw, it comes down and then clamps the sample piece and then goes through the robot to hit the human player, and then it will go to the scoring place.
Awesome, I love it. Are there a little bit different designs that you guys have gone through with the claw and different things like that to make the transfer more efficient?
No, we kind of just had a bunch of big questions, and then once we answered all those big questions, we kind of just went off it and try to make the best robot that would help with those 3 big questions.
Absolutely, and clearly it worked. Can we move on to this lift mechanism and your pivot? It looks awesome.
Okay, to start our pivot, when it intakes from the robot, the claw grabs it. From there, the lift goes up and the arm swings through the lift to drop up to the human player. The servos that we use to power the arm are Axon Minis, and they're surprisingly powerful, and we had trouble with it being too powerful when it was operating the arm. So we ended up changing a setting in that, but it swings, so the claw swings through the lift, drops up to the human player, picks up, swings back through, and it can almost do a full 360. It goes up to the mid position and then to the high position. The mid position scores on the bar and the high position scores in the basket.
Awesome, I love to hear it. What kind of drawer slides are you using? Do you know, or was that somebody else's expertise?
The drawer slides we were using are Mizuno drawer slides.
Okay, awesome. Love to see it. I see a lot of teams using those recently. All right, can we move on to some of the incredible software stuff that you guys have going on? I know I saw some odometry pods down there, a couple of sensors here and there, and then some awesome electrical covers right up here.
Yeah, we've had a lot of programming troubles this year, and we have just recently added odometry, as you said. We've had struggles with our Auton and the wheels slipping, so when we were, sometimes the strafing was off, and we've added odometry so that the distance wasn't off. That's one of the main things we've done lately. We've had a few sensors, like we've added a color sensor on the intake, and that has helped with both teleop and autonomous, because with our new basket autonomous, we go from the submersible and we have a specific color, and if we grab the wrong color, it'll automatically spit it out, and it does the same thing in teleop. If we grab the wrong color, it'll automatically spit it out, but if we have the right color or a neutral sample, then it'll automatically pick it up and store it back into the robot. We also have a magnetic limit switch for the lift. That just makes it so it's pretty much like a touch sensor, but not quite. where instead of having the lift touch the bottom, there's just a limit switch, so when the magnet hits, you know where the lift is in zero position.
Incredible. Something I saw during matches, specifically one match during the elimination matches, you went to go pick up a game piece, and you picked it up and you didn't grab it with your claw. You went up to score it, you didn't grab it. You came back down, and then it looked like you guys were going to go try to grab a second game piece, but then you realized that you had that. Is there a lot more of that different kind of logic in your autonomous programs?
Oh yes, we've added a bunch of new things lately where it kind of has a mind of its own. It's this color sensor, so if you can tell if you can pick up a block just based on the color, and if it has it and it's the right color, it'll go in, and if it's not the right color or it can't grab it, then it'll just kind of, if it knows it has about 2 or 3 seconds left, it'll just like give up, and because we have a time in the autonomous, so at some point if we hit that time limit, it'll just kind of abandon that part section in the coding.
That's beautiful. I love it. All right. This is an incredible robot. State champions, obviously, as we talked about. You can see the trophies back there. Team 10 255, thank you guys for your time, and I appreciate it.